Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. My name is Inka, and if it's your first time stopping by, then you, my darling, are most definitely welcome. Now in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the differences between healthcare in Nigeria and in the UK. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a backstory just in case you don't know me. My name is Inka. I would love to have you over here. Please do want to subscribe if you end up enjoying this video. Give it a massive thumbs up, share with everyone who cares to watch it. And I'm a medical doctor. I currently work in the UK. I worked in UCH, which is a tertiary institution in Ibadan in Nigeria. I did my medical education in University of Ibadan for 7 years. I did my housemanship in FMC Asaba for a year, and I did my NYSC in Polytechnic Ibadan for 1 year. So I have 7 years worth of medical education in Nigeria, 1 year of house job, 1 year of NYSC, and about a year and a half working in UCH. So I'm going to say I have about roughly 3.5 to 4 years medical experience in Nigeria, and right now in the UK I have about 1.5 years working experience in the UK. I recently moved to the UK in 2022, and ever since then I've been working in one of the NHS trusts in the UK. Great. Now that we have that backstory, I want to do a little bit of a comparison between practicing medicine in the UK and practicing medicine in Nigeria. I'm talking from the point of a patient and from the point of a doctor.
In the spirit of seeking health, I wanted to let you guys know about this uterine fibroid camp that is being organized by OH Prime Hospital in Lekki Phase 1. It's going to be happening on the 13th of May 2023. And as African women, we're definitely prone to uterine fibroid. So I definitely do urge you to attend this camp if you are in Lekki and environs on the 13th of May 2023. There's going to be discounted consultations with specialists and discounted surgeries for anybody who has been identified to need surgery following this camp. I can promise you that it's going to be fun-filled and educational seminar, and you definitely don't want to miss it. So if you've been struggling with uterine fibroids, or you know anyone who's been struggling and they live in Lekki Phase 1 and environs, I strongly do urge you to make plans to attend this seminar. Again, it's going to be happening in OH Prime Hospital in Lekki Phase 1. And I really do hope you guys take advantage of this golden opportunity that has presented itself.
The most important and glaring thing that I've noticed ever since moving here is that in the UK, they have the NHS, and the NHS really is gold. I cannot overemphasize how gold the NHS is. Like, if you think about gold, silver, any precious metal, that is what the NHS is to the UK. And because of that, they value it, they treasure it, they try to protect it as much as possible, because it really does set them apart from many other nations in the world. Why? Because healthcare is free. When I say free, I mean free in every sense of the word, down to your hospital admission if you're admitted, down to emergency surgeries if you have to have a surgery. I had a baby in this country, and I did not pay shebang for my hospital admission, for the cesarean section I had, for the medication I was given to Golden. I didn't pay nada. And that really set things into perspective for me, because if I had to have my baby in Nigeria, I would have had to pay an arm and a leg to have the same quality of healthcare that I had here in the UK. If you have to have any emergency procedures, if you have to be rushed down to the A&E, no one is going to be asking you to pay any money. And that really does set the tone for a lot of things. It really does make people have a better health-seeking behavior in the UK, which is something that is primarily important and primarily responsible for why they have a high life expectancy in this country. Like, I'm telling you, in the A&E on a good day, I see so many patients who are 90-something, 80-something, 70-something, and that is a big contrast to what my A&E experience in Nigeria was, because in Nigeria, I was seeing patients who were 20-something, 30-something, 40-something, the bulk of the patients. But here, you don't really see 20-somethings in the A&E. If you have to do like statistics, you would notice that many people who come to the A&E come in their 70s, 80s, old people, and that's because the life expectancy is so much better in the UK. And it all boils down back to health-seeking behavior, which all boils down back to the fact that they don't have to think about paying for healthcare if they need it. That alone is such a marked difference between healthcare in Nigeria, practicing medicine in Nigeria, even as a doctor and as a patient, because I have been both in Nigeria. I've been a doctor and a patient in Nigeria, and I've been a doctor and a patient in the UK, and that really does set everything apart. It's very important to me to talk about this because obviously, in as much as I am here, all my family members aren't here. I have brothers, sisters, parents, family members in Nigeria who would benefit from good health care. How can they get this health care? It's by getting health insurance, and that's really what I want to talk about in this video, is how important it is for you to get health insurance, because we all know that nobody ever plans to be sick, nobody ever plans to fall ill, nobody ever plans to have a surgery, except if it's an elective procedure. More often than not, you didn't plan for that, meaning that if you have to pay out of pocket in that moment, you will most probably set yourself back by a significant amount of money that you could have channeled into other things. And I made a video on this channel talking about how to break poverty mindset. I really want to just make reference to that video because in that video I spoke about a lot of things, but one of which is sending your money as a messenger to go before you and make your life easier, which is where health insurance comes to play. Send your money as a messenger. I'm going to leave that video linked up in the card so that if you guys want to check it out, you can. The important thing I just wanted to point out from that video was, at the end of the day, money is a messenger. If you have the means, please send that money on an errand. There are many health insurance companies in Nigeria that offer private health insurance. So I'm going to mention a few. There's Reliance. That's the one I use for my parents. I think if your parents have chronic illnesses like maybe high blood pressure, diabetes, any chronic illness that requires them to take monthly medication, then their subscription would be anywhere from 8,000 to 15,000 naira a month, which if you convert it to pounds, especially if you're living in the diaspora, it is probably the money that you're going to use to buy a pizza. So instead of buying a pizza, you could just help your parents to get that good quality health care so that if they are sick, they don't have to pay for these things out of pocket. It really does help them, and it really does make their lives that much simpler. And I just wanted to share this with you because I know that not many people know this. There are other ones like Hygeia, Headway, Azamansad. So please, if you can, get health insurance for your parents. It really does make a difference for them, because then they don't have to worry about, oh, they want to buy their medication, or their medication is going to cost 30,000 naira and they have to vomit that 30,000 naira every month, or they have to ask you for that 30,000 naira. If you had given them that health insurance, they can just literally walk into the hospital, get their checkup for free, get their medication for free, and their lives are so much better. I'm not going to say that the NHS doesn't have its downsides, because I work in the A&E in the NHS, and the wait times at the moment is crazy. But compared to in Nigeria, if you are actually dying, I can't count the number of heart attacks I've seen ever since I've started working in the NHS. And I can promise you that if you had a heart attack in Nigeria, you will most probably die. But it's different here because the NHS is very well funded. And the funding could be better, I'm not going to lie. The funding could be better, but it's significantly better than back home in Nigeria. And this again takes me back to the importance of having health insurance, because at the end of the day, there are odds already stacked up against you in Nigeria. But if you could just stack one odd in your favor with this health, which is health insurance, it would really make a significant difference, because at least you don't have to pay out of pocket if you eventually need healthcare back home in Nigeria. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but if you have any questions, please ask me down in the comment section. I can just recommend a few HMOs where you can talk to them on Instagram or send them an email and get your parents and your loved ones signed up. And even you, if you're back home in Nigeria, please get health insurance for yourself. If you don't have any chronic illnesses, I know that Reliance offers health insurance for 3,500 naira a month. Let your money be your messenger. Send that money on an errand and let that money go before you, so that if you need healthcare for any reason, you are covered. Another difference between medicine in the UK and medicine back home in Nigeria is that the health-seeking behavior is generally very different, and this also again boils down to money, because back home in Nigeria, I had a few patients who would wait till they were almost dying to come to the hospital, and that's because they didn't have money for admissions, they didn't have money for medication, they didn't have money for surgery. I know that I had patients with cancer would have noticed the lump maybe 1.5 years prior to when they eventually present, but then they keep going to the church, they keep going to mission homes instead of coming to the hospital, and by the time they present in the hospital, that cancer has now spread. Now, if they had presented early enough, maybe they could have had chemotherapy, radiotherapy, surgery, and maybe they could have lived, but they literally waited till the last minute to present, and that adversely affects the outcome of how patients would be. It affects the prognosis adversely. Do you understand what I mean? And it all again boils back down to money. But here, I've noticed that the survival rate for cancer is so much higher. The survival rate for certain diseases is so much higher, and that's because immediately they notice anything, they are presenting to the A&E, they are presenting to their GP, they are presenting to their doctors. So it helps early intervention, and that helps the prognosis of the disease to be much better. It takes me back down to sending your money on an errand. I really do urge you to use your money as a messenger if you can, to get health insurance, to make your lives easier and to improve the quality of your life. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to give the video a massive thumbs up if you ended up enjoying it. Hit that subscribe button down below to join this family, and share this video with everyone who cares to watch it. And if you have any questions, ask me down in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them, as many as I can, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.